Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to SMM Connect. Today's webinar is entitled Winging It to Winning, Strategic Planning in 6 Steps. And our presenter today is the First Lady of Sales, Dr. Cindy McGovern. Dr. Cindy is an international speaker, Wall Street Journal best-selling author and consultant, helping people and companies get what they want in work and in life by using the skills of sales pros. And folks, I can't wait for this session. I'm your producer, Roger Reitzel, and we're glad you're here. And we also hope you can join us for some more opportunities to learn that we have coming up on October 29th with Richard, creating sales presentations to beat buyer indecision. We all love to beat buyers. And on November 5th, the neuroscience of memorable contact with Carmen. And on November 6th, that's November 5th. On November 6th, we have with Catherine, embracing generational diversity. So we've got some real great sessions coming up. And remember, X, that's formerly known as Prince, SMM Connect us. Please join us there. We'd love to have you. And don't forget, SMM Focus Reports, the topics your counterparts are talking about and thinking about. And with that, I can't wait to introduce Dr. Cindy to tell us about winging it to winning, six steps into strategic planning, just 6 steps. Welcome, Dr. Cindy. Thanks for being with us again. We're happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Roger. It's so fun when I get to work with you on these webinars. I absolutely love it. We always have such a great time. So
We
thank
always
you.
do.
You got that radio announcer voice too, which is just so cool. So it's like the best hype man ever. So I love it. And big welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to be spending this time with you. I appreciate you taking a pause out of your busy work day to spend this with us. And as Roger mentioned, we're going to talk about from winging it to winning, strategic planning in 6 steps. And when I was chatting with everybody about what our topics were going to be for this particular webinar and the time of year, we said, gosh, this is really when everybody is doing their strategic planning. And as a business consultant myself, this is what I'm focused on with most of my clients right now, is helping them to create an opportunity for growth next year. But what's funny is strategic planning is sometimes really daunting for people. They get a little nervous about it. They overthink it, I'll be honest with you. And they create plans that are really too big to even manage, truthfully. So what I wanted to do for you today is really bring it down to 6 main things that every good strategic plan has. Now, my invitation to you is this: you take what you like and you leave the rest. There are pieces of today where you're going to say, we've got that down. We know exactly what to do. Great. Leave that one alone. If it's working, don't mess it up. But there are other ones where I invite you to also look at the plans that you've made within your organization, or maybe this is even your own strategic plan. Maybe you are doing your own planning. You're out on your own. You're doing consulting. You're doing something else. So when you're thinking about your own plan, let's look at those areas that maybe need a little tweaking, maybe need a little help, maybe need a little extra exercise so that you can have a solid plan. Because I believe this: nothing good happens without a plan. I'll be honest with you. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, but we can wing it. We can do this. We can do that. But I want you to think about running your business and running sales and running your teams as kind of like a recipe. If you know there's a recipe that you're going to get a great result at the end, why in the world would we do it any other way? So I'm going to share this with you today, and we're going to go through it. It's a lot of pieces, and Roger knows this about me. It's the old college professor in me. I can't help it. I love to give homework. So I'm going to assign some things for you guys today. Go back and work with your teams on. But I invite you to use this time to ask questions as well. Make this as interactive. Share with us in the chat box the things that you're struggling with or you're working on, and give me that thumbs up when you're like, yeah, this is what I want to be able to do. So let's have some fun with this today. So let me give you a quick agenda of the 6 pieces we're going to do. We are going to first off talk about what's the mission? Where in the world are we actually going? And then we're going to talk about charting that course, really developing that plan so that you can be able to grow and meet those goals. Then we're going to talk about the peopling side of it, assembling your crew, and then what we need to do before we really start taking action. That pre-flight check, y'all, is one of the most often skipped steps. And I'll talk about it when we get to it. But a lot of folks say, okay, people, go. Here we are. Let's make this happen. That pre-flight check means everything about getting that buy-in so that you can take off towards growth, and then looking at sort of engaging those afterburners to make sure we're staying on track, staying on course, and actually getting towards those goals. So let's get to it. First thing is we talk about the mission, and this is really your vision and your mission, and every organization has one most likely. But I want you to think about it in terms of, if you have a vision and you have a mission, does your team actually know these? Do they live them every single day? And when you start looking at that, and it sort of lends itself to some other pieces within your organization, how is it showing up for every single person? And very often, as a business consultant, when we go into an organization, we'll obviously read your mission, vision, values, understand how we fit into those. And what's humorous to me is a lot of times the employees don't even know them, and we know them better than they do. And part of it is because people don't know how to bring that to life. It's sort of these words that live on a piece of paper or live in an employee handbook that everybody goes, okay, well, all right, sounds lovely. Those are really nice little packaged up words with a bow. What do we do? So let's make sure that this is something that people know there's an action behind it. And that's where that plan really starts to come to life, which I'll talk about in a moment. Give you a quick example. So one of our sort of missions here at Orange Leaf Consulting is to leave people better than we found them. That's the most basic way to say our mission. And there's a much longer verbiage of how to do that. But everybody that we encounter, we want to leave them better than we found them. We want to give them as much as we can so that they can continue to grow their business. So when you think about it in the most basic sense, the most fundamental sense, can your employees understand how each of them does something to further that every single day? And if they can't, we need to work on that. So if you don't have this, though, you can create it. And oftentimes our clients will come to us and say, well, Dr. Cindy, we're going to have a board meeting and we're going to go create our mission and vision and values. Okay, you can, but why not involve the people that are actually going to be charged with executing that? Why not have an opportunity to bring them together and to brainstorm? Certainly it can happen at the top. It can absolutely happen with that leadership, but let's make sure that they're bought into it. And then that mission and the vision are the destination and the why, but it takes a lot more than this fancy flying. You got to have a plan. And you can't have any excuses, right? It's kind of like I always think of Top Gun, there's no points for second place kind of a thing. So if we really want to be able to grow and we really want to reach those goals, the team needs to know what that vision is, why we're going there. And then let's start charting that path. So before I move on, really quick, just give me a thumbs up or a Y in the chat box for those of you that not only have that mission and vision, but you know how your role fits into it every single day. Let's see that in the chat box for me. Not only do you have them, but you know how your role fits into it every day. I see lots of typing. And guys, I also will say this. If you don't know this, all is not lost. You can go and actually work on this. This is a great exercise, especially this time of year, to take a pause and think about that. And we actually have a client that we just did their strategic planning for 2025. Their missions actually shifted a little bit based on how they've grown as an organization. Their market has shifted. So they're kind of moving some things around. Love that. Thank you so much, George. Yeah, Traction EOS is great. So you absolutely have, it's very clear. You have your rocks and all of those things. So this is awesome. And, to your point, Matt, 45 associates, they know we have it, but maybe not how it actually affects every single day. So this is good homework. There's your first assignment, ladies and gentlemen. There's some good homework there to be able to go back and have some conversation around it. Because once you have that, that's when we really start charting that course. That's when we put that plan together. And the way that I want you to think about it is there's a lot of groundwork before we start flying. But kind of what I said in the very beginning, don't overthink it. A lot of people think the strategic plan becomes this ginormous binder Guys,